So I figured I would expand on the last video there. Talked about the 5 vehicle modifications. And today we'll talk about the 5 aftermarket vehicle add-ons that I've put on. I'll flip the camera around this time, this way you guys can look at the road. I will say, left Playa Azul this morning. It's about 150 kilometers south of Tampico, the direction of Victoria. The road is really nice. It's a toll road. It's one of the nicest roads I've seen in a while. So I'll flip the camera around and I'll start on the list here. The first thing I would say that I'm glad that I really put on the car is an awning. At the time I was kind of unsure, would I need it, would I not? But it's come in really handy. I picked it up from Amazon. If you want the name, just reach out to me and I'll send you the link there. It's pretty tough. I've damaged it a little bit, from not securing it down and getting the wind blowing it around. But it's also good because it covers, you can fold up the legs and drape half of the awning over the side of the car, so it covers the windows for the right side of the car. So the awning, I think, is definitely good add-on, right? And not only does it give you protection from the sun, but also gives you protection from the rain, right? I will say it has developed some mold on it, a little mildew from it, the days of it getting wet or in the morning and you're leaving and you fold it up and you can't completely dry it off. So that is something to keep in mind, right? But aside from that, it's been great. The second item I would say is the Gasland hot water heater or boiler. That is a really great addition. I did read the reviews on Amazon, and some were not so positive, but I can tell you from my own experience, it's currently fastened to the kitchen frame that I have. And that frame is broken 3 times so far. That thing has taken a beating. It's bounced around. No leaks, no problem. Fires up all the time. I did add a zip tie lock to make sure that the plastic battery holders wouldn't open up. But aside from that, it's been really great. So hot water is a game changer. This morning, once again, I'm staying at the Hotel Azul, and they only have cold water, and the bathrooms and showers were disgusting. I don't even have the right words for that. So it's really nice to be able to shower with hot water, whether it's in your vehicle, a privacy shelter next to your vehicle, whatever you want to do. But that's a game changer, right? So the next the third one, I would say, is a water system, right? Which kind of ties into the hot water tank, but a water system, whether it's 5 gallons, or in my case, I got 30 gallons of water I can carry, and an electric 12-volt pump. It's just great to have your own water pressure. A lot of places that I've gone to, they have virtually no water pressure, and the water's not hot, right? So, and to be able to wash your own dishes and those kind of things, definitely is good, right? So, being able to carry your own water, right, is number 3, along with the water pump. Number 4, I would say, is the solar system, and it's nothing fancy. It's I paid $450 from EcoWorthy. I did have some issues in the beginning there with panels. that weren't putting out, and that was a little bit frustrating. So the key is test your panels before you install them. Don't be like me and just randomly install them and hope they work after you tape them, glue them down, and then find out that they don't, and then you got to take all that back, right? Off. Something to think about with that, right? But I have two 100-watt solar panels, 100 amp hour battery, and a 3,000 watt power inverter. So that combination there works out well, right? I can run an electric hot plate, I can make coffee, I can make hot water, run a refrigerator, and for the most part, the solar system can keep up, right? So that's number 4. And number 5, the thing I mean, yes, the refrigerator is good. The portable air conditioner that I have, that's also great. But I do wish the one thing I did put into the car that I didn't was a DC to DC converter. At the time, even a 20 amp, I know Renogy makes one, it's like $100. At the time, I was just like, well, I got solar, it'll be fine, and 95% of the time, it is. But there's that 5% of the time where it's raining for 2-3 days. You go to some camping places, they don't have an electrical cord. You know, the refrigerator pulls down your 100 amp hour battery. Now, could you have a 200 amp hour battery? Sure, but it's bigger, it's heavier. Could you have 200 amp hour lithium Battle-Born batteries? Absolutely. But that would cost you $2,000, right? I think on a budget, look, for me to spend $2,000, 50% of the value of this vehicle doesn't really make sense, right? But to spend $100 on a DC to DC charger, that makes more sense, right? At least in my opinion. So, you know, those are the kind of things that I do wish. Let me just flip this around here. So those are the kind of the top 5 things that I'd say that I'm definitely glad that I built and put into the car, and it works. And look, I understand solar can be intimidating. It's electric. You know, is the system 100% perfect? No, right? Most of the time when I go camping and I go to places and they have an electrical outlet, it's an extension cord plugged in to a power strip. I unplug it from the inverter, plug it into the power strip, and what's plugged into that power strip is the battery maintainer for the solar, because I have a battery maintainer, the refrigerator, generally my laptop, and that's pretty much it, right? So, you know, and then whenever you need, you know, to run your water system, you run it off of your solar, right? It is a little intimidating, I get it, but if you do the math and you figure out like how many amps you're pulling and how many amps you need, and you look at the battery systems that are out there, obviously, like, you can go with lead acid if you wanted to, but there's enough information out there. You research it. Lead acid is not the way to go. Lithium iron is probably the way to go, but the cost is so much. So I went with an AGM a glass mat battery, right? And so far it's been okay. Is it heavy? Yeah, it's heavy, but it's good. It's done everything I've asked it to do, and you know, and more. So I know they don't like to be discharged too low for too long. You can damage the battery, so it's something I'm always conscious of, right? I think that's why the DC to DC charger in certain circumstances would be good. So, but look, if you have any questions about anything that I've mentioned, you know, feel free to write a comment. I'll get back to you. be glad to help you. With anything that you're working on. If you have, questions or anything like that, right? Because at some point I didn't know, right? And I didn't know how these things worked, and so I needed help, right? Did a lot of research, asked a lot of questions. Sometimes I couldn't get the answers in trial and error, right? But that's all part of life, right? We all live, and then we learn, right? So thanks for watching, and I think it'll be a little bit before I make another video. I think I'm gonna because I'm gonna be in Victoria for a little bit of time, right? I don't know exactly how long, but we'll see. So I'm gonna probably start making videos on what are the cost of things in Mexico, and what can you realistically live on down here, and what's a realistic budget, right? What's dental care cost, right? That's on my list. I need to go to the dentist, so might as well share that information. Go to the doctor for some checkup stuff, right? Car maintenance, right? So what's the cost to all of those things, and how's that information applicable to you, right? So currently my budget, right, is 1,000 pesos a day, right? That's kind of like what I've set for myself. So 1,000 pesos is about $50, right? And if you do, the simple quick math, about 1,500 US a month, right? Now, my current situation, traveling a couple hundred miles every day, there's some days you spend that simply in gas, right? Because gas down here is about $4 a gallon. I get about 19 miles to the gallon, average. So, 300 miles in a day, you hold 13, 14 gallons of gas in your car, you can easily eat $50 a day in fuel, not to mention the cost of somewhere to stay. Some places it's cheap, some place 100 pesos, 100, other places 600, right? So, I'll work on getting that information together and kind of sharing that with you all. So, but thanks for watching. Thanks to all my new subscribers. If you have anything that you'd like me to discuss, talk about in particular, feel free to reach out. So, as always, stay happy, stay positive.